Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tesla Simplified. Today, we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of Tesla and EVs in general. Let's get into it. Teslarati is reporting that Tesla sent out a tweet asking, what should Tesla improve? Let us know in the comments below. Teslarati goes on to say, a look at the comments on Tesla's posts would show that there are numerous calls for better service. Service has been Tesla's Achilles heels for some time now. And with the company adopting a best service is no service stance, some owners have reported experiencing difficulties contacting Tesla for issues with their vehicles. Comments on Tesla's posts suggest that customer service is still a key point of improvement for the company. James Locke says where I would focus. Service, many levels to this one. Number two, customer service and delivery experience, bad quality of SNX, and luxury of SNX. Hey, I'd like to chime in here since I just dropped off my car a couple of days ago to get the windshield replaced after a rock hit my windshield a couple of months ago. His number one service, the problems that I had was that they told me the car would be ready by 5 p.m. I should have contacted them, but I left without contacting them, and the car was not ready. I live about an hour and a half away from the service center, and they were nice enough to give me Uber credits, but it still took me 3 hours to go there and back. Went back the next day, picked up the car, took it home, and every time I turn on autopilot, the windshield wipers would come on. I thought, no, maybe that's just a bug in the system or something like that. It'll go away. It didn't. When I got home, I realized that they had placed the windshield, but they hadn't wiped it. So the inside of the forward-facing cameras was all dirty. So the windshield wipers was trying to clean it, but obviously it was on the inside. So I contacted Tesla again. They told me to bring the car back, which is another 3 hours there and back. So I ended up going on YouTube, figuring out that you can just open the little area there where the cameras are. Cleaned it out myself. Took about maybe 10 minutes, and everything's fine now. Canceled the service appointment. Maybe it was somebody new there that didn't realize that you had to clean the inside of the windshield before placing it on. I don't know, but this was my first real service at Tesla. I took it. I had a small problem in the beginning when I first bought the car, but it went away on its own, so I didn't really bring it in. And so service not great. Second, customer service and delivery experience. My delivery experience was, quick and dirty, I guess you would say. It was just, you came in, picked up the car, signed stuff and left. Um, there wasn't much hoopla, that I think you would get with, buying a BMW or something like that. That was about the same price that I paid for my 22 Model Y. So they should try to make it nicer. I don't know how we can do that. Build quality for the SNX and the luxury of SNX, I can't really comment because I don't have an SNX. But I can see what they mean. So let's keep going. If Tesla wants to ramp to 20 million cars per year, service and customer service needs to get out in front of current pain points. And he goes on to say that FSD transfer to a new Tesla should also be part of improvements. Let's keep going. Also prominent among the comments in the EV makers post was full self-driving. In the company's current system, when an owner replaces their existing vehicle, FSD, after all, is priced at a premium for its future features. But owners who purchased it for their vehicles end up buying the system again when they replace their cars now. As such, numerous comments on Tesla posts suggest that the companies roll out FSD transfers at least for long-time owners. Jean Krause says, if we can't transfer FSD as a whole to a new vehicle, we should at least be able to transfer the cost paid for FSD towards the cost of FSD on a new vehicle. Meaning I paid 7K a few years ago, it's 15K now, let me pay 8K for it on the new vehicle. This right now is a huge prohibitor from my considering upgrading to a new Tesla. So yeah, so let's talk about this. I don't suggest anybody paying for full self-driving at the moment. For my money, it's too much for what it delivers. Autopilot is really good. Obviously, autopilot is not full self-driving, but it delivers a lot of comfort when you're driving on long distances and on highways. And $15,000 is just a lot of money. It's a large percentage if you compare it to the price of the car. You know, Tesla's cars. Obviously, if you're buying an S or an X, you probably don't care very much about $15,000 if you can afford a car that's $100,000. 15 isn't. It's not going to break your bank, I think. But if you're buying a car that's 40 or 60, in my case, the $15,000 is a big chunk. So just wait till it's fully realized. That's what I'm doing. We just don't know when it's going to be done. Elon has been saying that it's going to be done every year. It says it's going to be done this year, and it looks great right now. After doing some research on it, I can see that it's doing really well in most city situations, but it's not 100% there yet, and we just don't know. Unfortunately, we can't trust Elon that it's going to be this year. Other suggestions included improvements to autopilot performance, build quality, and the communication with countries outside the United States and Canada regarding the availability of FSD functions. Other comments also called out Tesla for not having Tesla Spanish, French, or German language accounts on social media, considering that the company has been ramping up its presence with dedicated local accounts for countries such as Japan. So Eva McMillan had a good point here on number 4. Tesla should have a customer service 800 number versus only online for requests. Online, I think she means on the app, because they always tell you to go on the app, and you can't really get in touch with anybody at Tesla service unless you go through the app, which is a pain in the butt when you have a complicated situation and you have to write everything out and send them pictures and stuff like that. And it's just complicated for some people and annoying. And I think they should. That's what customer service is about. But I know they're trying to keep their prices low and their costs low when it comes to customer service. But it's just a bad customer experience if the only way to get in touch with Tesla service is through the app. All right. Next, Clean Technica has a great articles talking about the energy revolution in 5 charts. 1, the energy transition is a technology revolution. At the heart of the energy transition lies the fact that renewable technologies are far superior to fossil fuels. The energy transition is a shift from a concentrated, expensive, polluting, commodity-based system with no learning curve to an efficient, manufactured, technology-driven system that offers continuously falling costs and is available everywhere. It is moving from heavy, fiery molecules to light, obedient electrons, from hunting fossil fuels to farming the sun. I know that seems pretty obvious to some people, but I think there's quite a few people who still don't know this. The renewables revolution is exponential, not linear. When it comes to renewables revolution, linear is the default. When it comes to the renewables revolution, linear is the default perception, but exponential is the default reality. The growth of the key new energy technologies is exponential. It has been in the past and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. Companies and countries need to be quick to act, or it is hard to catch an exponential curve from behind. Um, the UK is going to learn this the hard way when it comes to cars, and Toyota is also going to learn this the hard way. So is GM and Ford for not moving fast enough. The UK is going to learn because they could lose their automotive industry, and so is Toyota. Exponential energy change is all around us. 3, the renewables revolution is led by China. Across manufacturing, deployment, and costs, China is far ahead of the rest of the world. As in past technology shifts, there is a geographical center that disseminates the superior technology around the world. If you wanted to understand the diffusion of the internet, you look to and modeled the United States. If you want to understand the energy transition, you look to China. China's leadership creates a competitive race to the top, which can be seen in recently enacted policies in the United States and Europe. China is setting the pace of the renewable race. China's been doing this for quite a while now, and look at that. Everybody else just lagging behind. Because China sees the opportunity, and China sees the world changing. And China can change quickly because of their politics. It takes the world much longer to make such a drastic change. 4, this is the decade of change. The 20s are the disruption decade, where renewable technology sales race up the S curve. If the energy transition were a novel, this decade would be its climax. The energy system is one of stocks, the bathtub, and flows, the dirty tap and the clean tap. By the end of the decade, the clean tap will be on full and the dirty tap will be drying up. Heat pumps, electric vehicles, solar, and wind will all be near the top of their sales S curves. Once the flow from the tap is clean, the drain, or natural retirement rates, will flush away the fossil system in succeeding decades. This is the decade that renewable sales race up the S curve. And finally, number 5, by 2030, the debate will be very different. By 2030, renewables will dominate the sales of energy producing and consuming technologies. The green prize will be evidence. Cheap renewables will be even cheaper. Fossil fuel demand will be off the current plateau and in clear decline. The negative alternatives of fossil fuels will be increasingly weaponized. Climate impacts will be more visible. In 2023, it is hard to imagine what this will look like, let alone model it in any detail. This means we must do as much as we can to narrow our time horizons and focus on speeding up the development of key renewables. Let's move on to the next article. Electrek is reporting that 45% of US car dealers won't sell you an EV. Here's what's going on. 66% of US car dealers don't have any EVs to sell, and 45% said they wouldn't sell them no matter what. According to a new report from Sierra Club about the EV shopping experience in the US. I mean, that's shocking. That's 45% won't sell them no matter what. But it's not surprising. They understand that their business is in jeopardy. When we transition to electric vehicles, they are not going to be able to charge us as much as they did for service for gas cars. Electric vehicles just don't break as much. And Tesla created their model of not having dealerships, and they understand that the writing is on the wall. The dealerships are going to go away one way or another. Obviously there could be some left, but very few. So they know that the vast majority of them are gone. And if they sell electric vehicles, they they're just going to speed that up. But if they don't sell it, they're they're putting themselves um, at risk for not being there at all. Also, so it's a tough situation for them. But I'm sorry, I've spent way too much money on fixing gas cars, and it's just not. They're just getting rich off of a service that is no longer necessary. The new technology of electric vehicles are making it possible for people to not have to spend all that money to fix a gasoline car, and it's going to help a lot of people. Conversely, the authors report that out of 66% of dealerships that don't have any EVs, 44% want to sell them when they can get them. Those who want to sell EVs say that stock bottlenecks are caused by supply chain problems, inventory challenges, and EV automakers' allocation to dealerships. Sierra Club's new report is called Rev Up Electric Vehicles, a nationwide study of the electric vehicle shopping experience. And it's based on over 800 surveys of auto dealerships and stores across all 50 states. The environmental organization shared testimonial from dealers around the US, and responses varied widely depending on representatives, car availability, knowledge, and attitude. A dealer representative at Tyrell Doyle Chevrolet in Wyoming said, "We need to install chargers first before the automakers can send us EVs to sell." There's chargers all over the place. There is Tesla, EVgo, Electrify America, and if there's not a lot in Wyoming, it's because the politicians don't want them there and are making it harder for companies to put them there. Let's take a look to see how many chargers are there. So Electrify America has 3, 4, 5 in the state of Wyoming. 4 with 1 coming in the future. Tesla has about 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 in the state of Wyoming. EVgo is not showing any, and PlugShare is showing about, about 6 or 7 or 8. Looks like 8 to me. So this person is saying that there isn't enough chargers, but there's plenty, especially since people are charging at home. I mean, how many apartment buildings are there? How many people live in apartment buildings and don't have a place to park their car? This is just someone who's not aware of the situation today. A dealer representative at J&R Car and Truck Center in Kansas said, "We haven't gotten into EVs just yet. We're not really moving toward that yet, but we're starting to talk about selling them." That's great. You do that. When China and Tesla come and start undercutting you on prices and better cars and you know everything else, you keep talking about that. Only 27% of dealers in the Western region had an EV available for sale, the lowest availability among all regions. However, the Western region sold far more EVs than the rest of the US. 45%, or 423,993 of EV sales in 2022. So Sierra Club's authors concluded that low EV availability is a result of high consumer demand and sales turnover. The Southeast was the region with the highest percentage of EVs available for sale at 41%. And the region sold 158,777 EVs, or 17% of EV sales nationwide, coming in third among 6 regions. There are 27 states that don't follow direct sales from automakers like Tesla and Rivian. And that impacts EV sales, of course. States that allow direct sales sold 65% of EVs in the US. So of course, people aren't buying cars that they can't purchase They can't easily purchase in their state, so obviously it'll lower the amount of people who buy those cars. But what it also does is it's allowing sales taxes to be generated by other states. Sierra Club notes that more dealers in the 13 states with zero emission vehicles, the ZEV programs, indicated that they would sell EVs if it weren't for inventory or supply challenges. The authors found that the ZEV states accounted for 61% of the US total EV sales. In other words, ZEV policy works. And when it comes to car brands, the study participants contacted automakers representing 18 different automaker ownership groups. Mercedes-Benz led the pack when it came to EV availability. 90% of Mercedes-Benz dealerships surveyed had an EV available for sale. Toyota placed second to last, with only 15% of Toyota dealers having an EV available for sale. And in dead last was Honda, with 11% of dealers having an EV for sale. Toyota placed in second to last with only 15% of Toyota dealers is telling, because Toyota has been dragging their feet forever. And it'll be a big problem for Toyota and Japan as a whole. Well, that's it for this video today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.